Alright then, today we're going to be changing the complete strut assembly, the entire assembly, the strut, the bearing plate, and the spring itself, because it would be cheaper to change the whole assembly versus changing individual components. Alright, so let's get started and get this job done. And the way we're going to do that, first we're going to come in here, we're going to spray everything with penetrating oil, because we don't want to take a chance on anything getting destroyed and having to change additional parts. So we're going to spray this with penetrating oil. This is actually, it's an 18 millimeter. In the back over here, let's see if I can show you. In the back underneath here, we're going to get in here with an 18 millimeter wrench, and we're going to hold the back part of the stabilizer link while we shoot off that nut right there. Then we're going to come down and we're going to shoot off this nut here. That's an 18 millimeter. And this one down here is an 18 millimeter as well. We are going to be very careful that we don't damage this sensor here, because this is your ABS sensor. You don't want to damage it by accident. So we're going to get in here with a pair of needle nose. We're going to squeeze this together, and we're going to pop this down out of the way so we don't accidentally damage it when we're in over here. Alright, next thing we're going to do then is we're going to come up underneath the hood, right up over here, and you can see these screws right here. This one, and one more up in the front right there. Those are 13 millimeter. We're going to air gun out those 13 millimeter bolts as well. We're going to leave one of them hanging on there so that the whole assembly is loose, and then we're going to take these out right here. Sounds easy, and it is fairly easy if you just follow these steps. Okay, we're going to do this one here first. Remember I said put the wrench in the back, and you'll hold it on there like that, and now we're going to shoot this bolt out. Now as you're shooting this bolt out, the wrench has to go back with it to keep it from rotating. So let's do that. Okay. That's where we put our wrench on. Right on here, just like that. And then we just hold that while we rotate it out. So, all right, so that we'll put off to the side right now. And about being careful with this ABS, we don't want to damage it. If you think you're going to damage it, just squeeze these contacts together here. It locks it in place, and you can move it out of the way just like that. All right, so let's shoot these off. Now, as you notice, the bolt comes out. I should say the nut comes off, but the bolt itself does not move. That's because the bolt is actually splined inside there, but I'm going to show you what to do in a minute. We'll take the other one out. Okay. Now we're going to just take this, screw the nut back on just a little bit, both of them, and then you just tap this here very lightly. And the reason you screw these nuts on there is because when you're tapping, you don't want to damage the threads on the bolt. By leaving the nuts on there, you're tapping the back of the bolt here, and you can get it out. Now, if by chance these are really tight and you can't get them on, just put the socket over the top just like that, like this, and hit the back of the socket here. I didn't have to do it in this case, but if you had to, screw the socket on and bang the back of the socket, it pops it right out. We're just going to move this off to the side like this for now. And these bolts are now loose, so they come right out. Just like that. And the next thing we're going to do now is we're going to go up top, and we're going to loosen up those bolts up there. So let me get set up, and we'll continue up top. Okay. This is what I'm going to do now. You can see I took off that nut right there, and I left it screwed on by just a couple of threads. Now I'm going to air gun that one off and that one off, and then we're going to take this strut assembly down, but this one is what is going to be hanging on, so that we can disconnect it on the bottom and we can continue from there. Now it's going to be hard for me to actually do this, but we're going to shoot this nut off right here, and we'll take this one out and this one out, and we'll continue. So now you saw how the strut moved down just that little bit. Next thing we're going to do now is we're going to take out the strut. These are the splines I was telling you about right here. You see how it's splined on here? These are the splines that go into this aluminum knuckle here and actually keep it from moving. All right, so we'll get back to those in just a minute. This one is going to come out as well. Now you want to make sure that when you pull this out, you don't pull it out too far and dislodge the axle tripod. So you want to be careful with that and not come out too far. So we're just going to break it loose. Just like that. We're going to keep this in. Now if this doesn't stay in, you could tie it in with a bungee cord, but this one is going to stay, so we're not going to worry about that. All right, now we're just going to lift up on the top here, and then we're going to reach up from the top and take out that nut. And then we'll take our strut out just like that, and that's the, okay. Struts on this are actually left and right side, and you can see that that one is marked R. So now we do is we take our strut, we have our new nuts in hand, and now we're going to catch the new nuts on the top of the strut when we put it up through the top there. And now we're going to take this, we're going to push the strut in, pull our roller over, and then we're going to lift the whole assembly up in position. And now we're just going to leave it hang just like that. And then we're going to take our other bolt. And then we can take this out. And we're going to put this through. Now, what I normally do, I try to turn these so that I can hold this with a wrench like this while I air gun it from the other side, because this way here the splines will go right into here and not chew up all the splines in there. So I just hold it on there just like that. So you want to set it up so that it's in a good spot for you. Just tap it through. I'm just going to turn it so that it's in a good area for me to hold it with a wrench, which is right there. You just tap it in very little, just to get the splines to grab. And I will put this on here like this. We're going to catch the nuts on here. I'm going to shoot these on with the air gun, and just so you know, these do need to be torqued in, but we will come back to that shortly. Alright, so now we're going to shoot in the lower nut. We're going to hold it so it doesn't rotate down here. Let me go look up the torque specs on this, and we're going to torque these down right now. Now these are all tightened up. These are actually 89 foot-pounds, these two bolts right here. Just so you know, this bolt right here for the stabilizer link, this is going to be 48 foot-pounds, but I'm going to shoot this in with the air gun, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to retorque that, and then we're going to go up top. And we're going to tighten up the bolts up on the top on the bearing plate. They're actually at 15 foot-pounds. All right, so we're going to put this back through here like this. that. We're going to screw this on by hand. We're going to hold that nut in the back with the wrench just like this, and now we'll shoot it in. Ready? Okay, so remember, 48, 89, and up on top is 15. All right? Now we'll put this back on here. Snap it back in, so that's nice and tight. So these are all set. This one we're going to check it, and we'll go up top now. We'll tighten up those bolts up top. Okay, now you can shoot this on with an air gun. I always like doing these by hand because it only calls for 15 foot-pounds and you don't want to take a chance on breaking them. So I just snug them in. So like I said, we are going to come back up here. We're going to torque these in to 15 foot-pounds. Okay, so that's it. You're all done. As always, thanks for watching. See you on the next one.